This is Fort Bracksenbrucksen from Vermintide 2. And yes, I'm the first person to say it the correct way. It's my least favorite level in one of my favorite video games. It does one thing. It does one thing that makes it an inferior co-op map in my opinion, and it happens right at the end during what I like to call the Crescendo event. Keep this in the back of your head for the rest of the video. We're going to be revisiting the Crescendo event for Fort Bracksenbrucksen, and we're going to be talking about why I don't like it so much. While we're going through the rest of the video, I want you to try to guess what I don't like about this map's finale, because I really do think you'll get to the same conclusion as me before we actually reveal it. First, I want to break down the idea of what a Crescendo event is, and we're going to do that by breaking it up into the two words that make it up. Crescendo refers to the big, loud, explosive, event that's happening in the middle of the map. It usually occurs after a little bit of a build-up, and for co-op games, that's typically the finale of the map. Think of the concert at the end of Dark Carnival in Left 4 Dead 2. We're going to be bringing up Left 4 Dead 2 a lot. You fight through all the previous acts, running through the entire carnival, and it all leads and builds up to this big, climactic finale where you're literally setting off fireworks, playing a bunch of music really loudly, trying to get the attention of a helicopter to come pick you up. You then promptly crash the helicopter in the next map after Nick 86 is the pilot for turning into a modern Payday 2 leech player.
I don't think it was very clear, so here's a little diagram. I used some modern characters, so hopefully this makes sense. So here's the modern leech player from Payday 2, and here's Nick when he 86 is the pilot. Also, I got bored, so I made a bulldozer from Payday 2.
But that's besides the point. Where was I? The other word in the sequence is event, and that's something that I don't have on my calendar because I am a gamer. Please see the attached image of my calendar. A little side note here, I know we're talking about crescendo events, but I'm going to be using the term finale a lot here as well. For the purposes of this video, those two terms are interchangeable. Just know that the finale of any co-op map is the crescendo event that happens right at the very end. Now that we've established today's topic, let's give some examples of crescendo events in co-op games. After that, we'll discuss what I think makes them pretty good. Once we're on the same page, I can explain to you what Fort Bracksenbrucksen does that makes me hate it so much. I've handpicked these crescendo events from a few different games. Let's take a look at them individually and set the scene a little bit. Dead Center is a Left 4 Dead 2 map that I hope all of us have played at some point or another. I feel like the diagram of people who've played Left 4 Dead 2 and people who own a PC is probably a circle at this point. It's probably even like people that don't own a PC own Left 4 Dead 2 on PC. It has that much influence. Dead Center is the first campaign in Left 4 Dead 2 that takes our newly united gang through a mall in Georgia that was just hit by the green flu. We just barely missed the helicopter because, like me, Coach is packing away too many candy bars. I smell burnt toast. This campaign does an excellent job of setting the scene of this game, slowly teaching you about the game and all the characters themselves learning over time what the special infected do. The characters narrate very well where they're going and what the objective currently is. There's minimal HUD elements that kind of show you what direction to keep moving in, and it establishes a very good gameplay loop. But that's a video for another day. I could talk about Left 4 Dead 2 all day. Today we're talking about the final act of the campaign, and that's known as the Atrium. To briefly describe the Atrium finale, after spotting a famous stock car and descending down into the mall, the player is greeted by this. Tons of gas cans glowing at them through the walls of several floors of the atrium in the mall. Newsflash, we need to collect like 12 of these things. 12 of these things. And pump them into the car so we can get away from all the infected swarming around us. Now what, you may be asking, my dear viewer, is so good about this? Personally, I really like the freedom of choice presented by this finale. The biggest positive from a crescendo event like this is the ability to choose how you're approaching the situation. And I'm not the only one that's thought of this. The wiki even breaks it down right here. If you go to the Survivors Versus section, it shows you that there are multiple ways that people like to handle this situation. Those essentially break down into move in groups of 2, move as a whole group unit of 4, or take incredibly big risks, split off, and go solo to try to go as fast as possible. The entire idea behind this concept is that the team is deciding between two things: speed and risk. Do you want to go fast and risk dying alone, or do you want to go minimal risk and spend a lot of time dwindling your resources like health? It's the perfect piece of replayability to me. It's so simple, it's straightforward. I really don't understand how modern co-op games mess this one up. I feel like this was a perfect blueprint for how a finale like this should go. Payday 3 used to be a pretty good game because it had all of this at launch, and also I think Transporter should transport itself down a well. This simple concept really contributes to the replayability of this level in my opinion, and each playstyle can be fun depending on what my mood is, which is how it should be. Video games are supposed to be fun.
Sometimes I forget that.
Just give us the option to choose how we're playing a situation and it'll appeal to so many people. Left 4 Dead 2 is really timeless in this way, and I don't think any other game really can match it for reasons like this. For our next example here, we're going to be talking about Payday 2. It's a me video after all. Hell's Island in Payday 2 features a finale that's present in a lot of co-op games. a cut and dry survival. There's no bells and whistles, we start hacking a gate, but then after that it's a fight for our lives. There's a little bit of an escort element here with Bane and Locke, but in reality this is a fight to the death between us and murky water mercenaries. I'm going to label this kind of Crescendo event as one that simply knows what it wants to be. And what it wants to be is a slaughterhouse. Not that slaughterhouse. I think there's really just something very simple and satisfying about this type of event, and I feel like I can't even explain it. I just like the idea of a survive or die situation right at the end of the road when I'm running out of all of my resources. It results in me having to make tough decisions about leaving behind team members, or grabbing that last hit off of the doctor bag, or even just shooting the right enemy at the right time. I know I love this type of event, but I can't really explain it further than that. It's one of those ones where it just feels right, you know? Leave a comment if you think this is bad game design, or if you think this kind of event is actually not very good. It does come from Payday after all, and we really like making fun of that one.
Boy, do I like making fun of that one.
The next Crescendo event I wanted to talk about happens right here in Honey Pop. In this Crescendo event, you fight a boss, and you can tell the boss is taking significant damage and is close to dying because most of their armor begins falling off. I've been advised to not actually use this example. Our last Crescendo event is calling in from the middle of Austria by the name of Der Eisendrache from Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And yes, I am once again the first person to say Der Eisendrache correctly. This is another pretty simple one. You can tell we blew all of our budget on the Dead Center comparison. After a physically and mentally taxing 45-minute Easter egg, you reach the climactic conclusion of the Der Eisendrache Zombies Easter egg. We shot a missile out of the sky, we created the bow wonder weapons, and now it's time to put your overpowered storm bow to use, because you and I both know that's the one that you made, and you jump right into that final boss fight. I really like this type of event because it feels like the grand finale. This is what a Crescendo event should really be. You know it's the end because the big glowing bastard is up there throwing every single thing that he's got at you, and then some. He's got glowing weak points, previous boss enemies end up showing up as regular enemies during the fight. He's got a scary one-hit move that instantly kills you, that then results in you saying some words that you didn't know that you actually knew because you went on 4chan that one time, and so you subconsciously know them, and so you say them out loud, and you really shouldn't be. It's like 2020. Basically, it has everything. The whole point of this event is just to kill the big bad guy staring you down and throwing everything at you. And I think this is one of the better ones in co-op gaming, like I said. It doesn't get much more satisfying than firing that last shot, seeing the screen flash bright white, knowing that you completed the boss fight. I think my game just crashed. Before we jump back into Fort Bracksenbrucksen and talk about why I dislike it, I do want to take a look at something else. My YouTube channel. You should subscribe and like the video, please. Anyway, the thing that I actually wanted to talk about, I wanted to look at a couple other Vermintide 2 maps to kind of compare them under the lens that we have now established. So we're going to rapid fire through some of these. Convocation of Decay. It's just an all-out survival mission, no objective. It's a darn hard one, too. It's simple, it knows what it wants to be, it's just like the Hell's Island Crescendo. They throw trash enemies at you, elite enemies at you, special enemies at you. It's just an all-out brawl. Really fun, honestly. I might get a little bit of hate for that one. I think some people don't really like Convocation's finale, but I like survival. It's fun. I like the survival type crescendos. Alright, this is the first one I don't actually know if I say it correctly. Athel Yen Lwei?
Athel Yen Lwei.
Yippee. Nice work, man. We always got your head, but it does smell like burnt toast in here.
It's quick and objective-based. You split up and you go faster, or you stick together for better odds of surviving. It's a simple decision that makes a huge difference depending on what the team's capable of. Odds are pretty good you can jump in and get this first one done right away, and then you gotta decide, do we go to the last two in teams of two, all together? Does one of us run off while the other three defend someone? Lots of decisions to be made and not a lot of time to make them. It makes it very interesting, replayable, and depends on my mood how I handle it. The last one we have is War Camp. It's just a boss fight. No, really, that's it. It has a boss at the end. Now, after all that, let's talk about Fort Bracksenbrucksen again, and the thing that I hate about it. I dislike the Crescendo event, which takes place at the titular Fort Bracksenbrucksen, because it does none of the things we've talked about today. It doesn't have a cool boss fight, it's not a very tough survival crescendo, it doesn't present all of the objective pieces to you right away so that you can decide if you're playing it fast or if you're being safe with the group. Fort Bracksenbrucksen's Crescendo event sucks because it doesn't know what it wants to be. This isn't one of those missions against a strong wave of enemies. In my experience, it's mostly just trash enemies. Not you. No, go back to your game. There isn't some cool difficult boss fight at the end to send you off in style like War Camp. And most egregiously of all, the thing this event does the absolute worst is it doesn't spawn this stupid cannonball at the beginning of the event. You end up shooting 2 cannonballs after aiming the cannon, and then the final one is just scripted to spawn all the way over there. It's all the way back there. Do you see it over there? You can't even see it. You need binoculars to see it. It's that far away. This means that there's no player choice. You just go and do all of the objectives, point A to point B, back to point A, all done. No one has to sit and defend the cannon, so everybody just goes and grabs the cannonball together and defends for each other. That sounds really weird to say in like in a co-op game. Oh no, I'm mad that everybody's sticking together and playing together.
Something Payday 3 joke here.
I think you understand what I mean, based off the Dead Center comparison. This results in the Crescendo event at the very end of the map being really, really easy and kind of falling flat. It's so easy, I just want to be able to choose how I die if I want. And if I want to go die going to get the cannonball all alone because I made a mistake, that should be on me. I want it to be just like Dead Center's finale. Give me all the objectives at once and let me decide. I think this is especially annoying too because this isn't an early mission into the game. Like if this was almost like a tutorial Act 1 mission, I would kind of understand it being laid out this way. But no, it takes place in the middle of Act 2, right after a map that has a much better finale and has all the objective laid out before you all at once. I really don't think at this point in the game, in the middle of Act 2, we need handholding like we did in Act 1. You're probably a few hours into playing Vermintide 2 at this point, you've gotten your rat legs, and you know how things go. You find a cannonball lying around, you're gonna throw it towards the cannon that you're using for another objective. And even this I don't think is a very good argument because Dead Center does this much better in Left 4 Dead 2, and it's the finale of the very first campaign. This is the tutorial campaign, essentially, and it does it much better than Fort Bracksenbrucksen does. Left 4 Dead 2 trusts the player to make their own decisions, whereas Vermintide 2 doesn't do that. And again, just to reiterate, I think having all of the objective items ready at the beginning helps contribute to replayability and the timeless feel of a game. It falls pretty flat here in this fort on this night. Also, can we talk about this stupid cannon thing right here? One poor soul has to just sit and aim this cannon while the other 3 are having fun tearing up trash, not you, for like a minute straight. I feel like this finale does just everything wrong, which is weird because I don't see this in the rest of the game. The rest of the game is fantastic. Unless I just haven't thought too hard about it. I'm sure a bold, noble commenter will let me know that I'm wrong. But other crescendos in Vermintide 2, as we just previously discussed, they know what they are. I think Fort Bracksenbrucksen's finale just kind of wants to be everything at once. And it results in it becoming nothing. It wants to try pleasing everybody, but as a result, it pleases nobody. But I think that's it for me today. What do you guys think of Fort Bracksenbrucksen's Crescendo event? Is it as bad as I think it is? Or am I being a drama queen? More importantly, who's your favorite boss in the hit game Honey Pop? My favorite is definitely Layla.